Welcome in, folks. Kevin Thomas, John Epps here. Moving the Chains, Week 3 preview show, John. Another great week of football last Friday night. A lot of really exciting games, a lot of last-minute scores, a couple overtime games as well. Lots of really good ones. I'm pumped for a week that, on paper, doesn't look great, but usually it ends up where it's not a great-looking week. You have a ton of big-time ball games if it turns out the way it seems like.
Yeah, it seems like this is a week where you get a lot of upsets, where you expect, this team will roll, this team will have any trouble with them, and we see some upsets that we didn't expect, and we see some teams. Again, it's every week.
Yeah.
We see some teams. It's like, okay, all right, we got to start taking these guys serious now. And some other schools like, well, okay, maybe they lost a lot more, maybe they're struggling a little bit more than what we thought they would.
Yeah, for sure. You never know, especially these non-region games. Who's holding what back, who's making changes, and whatnot. So. A lot of fun to see there. But if this is you guys' first time, we appreciate you tuning in. Like, follow, share here on Facebook at Movin the Chains. Check us out on Twitter, Instagram as well. YouTube also at just MOVINCHAINS. Check out our brand new website, movinchains.com. We got a message board on there. A lot of really cool stuff for you there. Also, to put our podcast audio only version out on Google, Spotify, Apple, etc. We do this show here on Tuesday nights, a live preview show. We do a recap show on Sundays that comes out on the podcast only version. We're doing a new thing now, Friday Night Spaces on Twitter. We're basically recap the games live if they're over. So feel free to hop in there and check out that stuff as well with us. A couple comments here, Donald. So where's that Oregon shirt? We got to save the Ducks for just every now and then, for sure.
I saw a good picture today of, it's obviously not Kirby Smart, but his face on a guy to out duck hunt with a big old gaggle of them.
Love it. Kev Ron says, good evening, go Gray. We'll definitely talk about those guys in a minute here, Kev Ron. Zach says, how we doing, guys? Zach, good to see you, buddy. Another big win for the Red Devils last week. They continue to roll. John, so we're here on our Week 3 preview show from Security Advantage Federal Credit Union. Let's get right into our games of the week here by Carolina Orthopedic and Orthopedic Associates. Our first one here, a big-time 3A, 4A matchup. 2-0 Dillon traveling to Kellytown to take on 3-0 Hartsville in a really fun matchup, John.
Yes, probably the game of the week, really, between two really high-powered programs. 3A, 4A makes things a little bit murky, but Hartsville, what a win last week against Camden. Last week. That was big time to win that game on the road too. And then Dillon, they're doing what Dillon does.
Yeah.
Had a big win first week against Lamar, and a really close one.
They were down big, had to come back
Friday. So had some adversity against the Tigers last week, but hey. It all comes down to if you get the W or not. They did it. This should be a fun game. I think Dillon's going to be I think they're going to be overmatched. Hartsville's really good. Very impressed with them last week.
Dillon won that game 42-35. Give up all 35 in the first half, John. Defense really buckled after that. They've got a pretty good running attack. The quarterbacks are running the ball pretty well with Oxen down there. They've also got guys like Ty Martin, Jamorian Fling, and Chris McCollum kind of leading that attack behind that big offensive line. They got the big 24 prospect Josiah Johnson there, of course. Hartsville saw them firsthand last week. Big win over Camden. They've got two really good backs, Jason Anderson, Carmelo McDaniel, both averaging over 10 yards per carry. Quarterback McKendry Douglas is a really good player. Defense, I was very impressed with. It came out early, and Camden kind of leaned on a little bit, had some size up front, kind of an advantage there, ran the ball down the throat. Hartsville made some really good adjustments late in the game. Was able to kind of come away with a stop there. I think it's going to be a very physical game, John. A lot of running the ball. I think I have to lean Hartsville as well at home.
Yeah, now if this game was between the white walls, I think we'd see a similar game that we saw Hartsville over at Camden over at Zimp last Friday. I think being at Hartsville, that's going to make a big difference. I'm saying, Hartsville's definitely going to win. I think it's a 10-point. 10 to 14 point game. I think it's going to blow out. And I think Dillon's defense, granted, they gave up so much in the first half last week. You still like that Dillon defense to be able to control things a little bit, but gosh, can they do it against Hartsville?
Yeah.
Hartsville was very impressive Friday.
They were down multiple scores several times throughout the game, kept battling back. Finally got a couple key plays like a block punt when they had to have it, had a key stop here and there against Camden. They just made plays when they had to have them, man. That's all you can really say about that. I think Dillon's going to need the quarterback to be able to throw the ball a little bit better. Like I said, he's been running through. I think he had 2 rushing touchdowns last week, a 30-yarder and like a 7-yarder. He's got to hit some passes to win this game. Camden, Had some success up front against Hartsville, running the ball on them. Didn't throw it a ton with Grayson White, really, but did have a few nice passes. I think Dillon's going to have to be able to stretch the field kind of to back off some of those Camden linebackers or Hartsville linebackers a little bit. But I think the Red Foxes have a little too much firepower in this ballgame.
Yeah, hey, special teams would be key.
Yep.
If Hartsville got those special teams plays to go their way Friday, if Dillon can get those special teams to go their way, all right, maybe a little bit different story.
For sure. And our second Kona game of the week here, two 2-0 clubs, John. Whale Branch traveling to Baptist Hill. Who do you like here between the Warriors and the Bobcats?
I tell you, I like Whale Branch. I was so impressed with what Baptist Hill did last year. They were, for me, I didn't really know about Baptist Hill. Weren't really on my radar, and they were just good week after week after week last year. Really like the way they play. I like Whale Branch in this one just a little bit more. I think they're just a little bit better. They're getting the respect in those polls.
Yep.
They are. I think Whale Branch. I'll say they're the number 2 team in 1A. That's correct. They're the number 2 team. Poll just came out a couple hours ago. Whale Branch number 2, and Baptist Hill number 8 in that new top 10.
Yeah, fun game there. Both teams have already played North Charleston. Both played them pretty close. I feel like that's a pretty good barometer. I think 19-8, maybe like 18-12 or 13.
18-14.
18-14 the other way. So pretty tight both ways there. Whale Branch 48-14 over original Hardyville last week. Chakai Pusher, the senior quarterback, had 4 touchdown passes. Mason Griffin playing running back and linebacker. Jadarius Garrett's a big-time playmaker at wide receiver for them. Then Devon Evans and Demory James on defense kind of leading that charge along with Griffin. Baptist Hill, like I said, just beat North Charleston 18-14 last week there. They throw the ball a lot for a 1A program. Usually you think of a 1A school, like, all right, they're going to run wishbone, they're going to run the V or whatever. They're not going to spread it out. Baptist Hill is going to throw it 30, 40 times a game, which you don't see. I guess maybe Hanna Panther does it 1A too. That's about it. Led by the quarterback there, Harold Gathers, Nathan Mungan, and Caleb Brown, wide receiver. Kelvin Smalls and Marion Waring coming on defense, leading that charge there. I'm going to lean Baptist Hill being at home, and I think that passing offense, it's just something these guys don't practice a ton against on the other side at 1A, I feel like. So I think the Bobcats have a slight edge there playing at home, and with that passing game behind Gathers, I think they win this one in a tight one.
Okay, I think that's fair. It's certainly going to be a different look for Whale Branch to see. Should be a good game. Should be a really good game.
It should. A couple comments here. Chad Furman says, "What's up, guys? Hey, Chad, appreciate you being here, man. Good talking to you." Zach says, "Red Devils had a win Friday night against Newberry. Didn't have their starting quarterback as he hyperextended his knee on Monday. Hope he's back soon. But certainly a big win for those guys. Even without the starting quarterback, it sounded like there." Zach said, "Can I recommend the game if you have to talk on?" Yeah, for sure, man. Next week or whatever, shoot us a chat here on Facebook or on Twitter or whatever. Love to get your input, man. Anytime you guys want us to have something particular, just shoot us a message, and we'll certainly do that, John. And our third Kona game of the week here, this is a kind of a interesting matchup because I feel like you don't see like this. I don't know, this game. I'll tell it to you, and you'll just understand what I'm saying here. 2-1 Oceanside at 2-0 Marlboro County. Two teams. I mean, obviously Oceanside's a new school, so they have probably never played. It feels like an odd matchup, but it's one that I'm pretty excited for.
Yeah, well, gosh, the distance you gotta travel
for one, that's a part of it. Yep.
Yeah, I think this game is gonna be in Bentonville, correct?
It is.
It's gonna be at Marlboro County. You got kind of the old school, tough Marlboro County program again, the up and coming Oceanside.
Yeah.
The beach kids from Charleston here coming in. This is a really fun matchup.
It is.
What I'm really excited about this is preseason. Only thing we talked about Marlboro County was Collegiate change.
Yep, new guy.
And we weren't really sure what to expect coming from them this year. First 2 games, they have been very, very impressive. Beat up on a good Sherrall team.
Mm-hmm.
I think we said, well, maybe Sherrall's not.
We thought Sherrall might beat them.
I thought Sherrall was going to beat them.
Yeah.
And then they won in overtime
against
Scotland over in North Carolina. So they are really impressed, or I'm excited for Marlboro County because they are better than we were thinking they were going to be this year. And then Oceanside, they're just going to be fun to watch. Any game you got a chance to see Oceanside play, that game's going to be a really fun game to watch.
Yeah, they're a 2A school, but last week they were playing John Forrest, and we said, 2A, 5A. Usually you never see this happen, but we thought Oceanside was a favorite, was going to win handily. They won by 4 points, 28-24. Still won the game. Had a big game from Von Blue, 150-plus rushing, I believe it was there. We know about the quarterback, Edward Reidenbach, the big O-line with Monroe Freeland, the Georgia commit, Sawyer Hearn as well. Vaughn Blue getting loose out there. Jason Kravchik out with their wide receiver. Also playing some linebacker DB for them. Zach Hagedon and Timmy Castine kind of leading that defense along with Ben Britton there. Oceanside's been very impressive. Every challenge they've had, whether it's Gray, South Lawrence, and then last week against Carolina Forest, they set up and answer the call every single week, no matter where it is, home, away, what size school, it doesn't matter. They've been very impressive. Marlboro County, like you said, a overtime win last week. Quarterback Tamoon Burr leading that charge there. Wide receiver Elijah Chalmers, running backs Fonte Tyson and Marte Simmons. Simmons and Purvis on defense there. Marlboro County has been very impressive and kind of a tough physical team that like Marlboro County of old, So you worry if maybe they could kind of lean on Oceanside with their depth a little bit, but I don't think that's going to happen. I know it's 2A, 4A. You might think that might happen, or 2A, 3A. I don't think it will. But I think Oceanside a little too much firepower. I think they win this game, even though they're going up on the road to Bennettsville.
I think so too. And for Oceanside, the depth issue doesn't seem to be a problem.
Yeah.
Carolina Forest is not only a 5A school, they're one of the biggest 5A schools in the state. They've got a lot of people there. That's not a problem for Oceanside.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that at all for them. They've been in plenty of different environments. And they play in Haygood Stadium every Friday night.
Sure.
They play in a big building. They play in some good environments, some hostile away territory. They should be ready even for a juiced-up Marlboro County crowd. And Oceanside, I think, is just the better team. I say that. Somebody's going to clip that and put that in something.
The Bulldogs have surprised, so we'll see.
But you know what? If Marlboro County does win this game, we deserve it, and they deserve all that.
Yeah, that'll be a great barometer for the Bulldogs this Friday night. I think
that's exactly it. This game, I think, will show Marlboro County, all right, how close are we to being really good?
Yeah.
Hey, they looked great in the first 2 games, but that's 2 games.
Yeah.
This is going to be their biggest test, probably of the whole season. Really.
Yeah, until they get Camden later on in the year for sure.
And even then.
Yeah, Oceanside has been one of the best in the state. No doubt about it. I think we're both leaning Oceanside in a close ball game for sure this Friday night. A couple more comments. Cam said he filmed Clinton Newberry, very interesting. Antonio Harrison said, "Yo, Antonio, what's going on, man? Hope you're getting well soon. Love to see you back out there. Hopefully, pretty quickly here." Patrick says, "Hey guys, what's going on, Patrick? Good to see you, buddy." Zach said, "Clinton has a tough opponent next week. South Aiken going to Wilder Stadium." Yeah,
yes.
I think South Aiken defense is horrendous, but offense can score, so I'll give them that. But should be a fun matchup there for sure over in Wilder next Friday night. John, let's look now at our 4th calling a game of the week. This is one that was a really good ball game early in the year last year. This year, I'm not really sure what to expect. You're defending 2A state champion Gray Collegiate, 0-3 on the year, going to Zemp Stadium, playing Camden off a tough loss at Hartsville. I think Gray is starting to figure out a little bit on offense. They scored, I think, 35 in a loss last week to South Atlanta, and actually Saturday in that Camden Classic. Riley State took 400+, 3 touchdowns there. B.J. Montgomery, good game on the ground. We know what the receivers there, Savion Smith, Devin Johnson there, Zai Alford, Jamarius Leggett. Is that his name? I think it is. Either way, I'll find it in a second. But yeah, Jamarius Lockett, excuse me. Yeah. But really, I think the problem is in the defense. They've given up some points to Oceanside. Give up a big comeback to Crestwood in week 1 technically. They gave up 48 last week. Gray, I don't know what to make of that. I guess we didn't maybe undersold the loss of Torrey Kelly and Zach Glenn on the defense side a little bit much. We talked about Casey Adams, of course, but then that defense lost a lot too. Camden, tough loss last week, 36-29 over Hartsville. Again, we were at. Grayson White is much improved from last year. He seems more comfortable back there. We know about the big D line, McLeod and Jones and those guys there. What do you think happens here between the War Eagles and the Bulldogs?
It is, and I want to, while I'm thinking about it, is McLeod back?
Yes, he did play. He did play last week. Played well last week. Very quick off the ball. Yes, very good.
All right, perfect. So, I think I like Camden a little bit in this game. Gray just, like you said, the defense is what scares me.
Mm-hmm.
They have played 3 very good opponents.
Yes.
There's no doubt about that. But the amount of points they've given up in all 3 of those games, and in that, what was the second game?
Crestwood.
Crestwood. Just giving up points in chunks.
Yeah.
That is alarming. And Camden, I know, is not the most prolific offense you're going to see, but they're very capable.
Yeah.
As you said, White, much more comfortable in year 2 playing quarterback. They've put up points. They've lit up the scoreboard a little bit, albeit on some maybe not as great competition. We know Hartsville's good, though.
Yes.
And they play right down the wire against the Red Foxes. They can score, I think. And their defense is very good.
Yep.
I think this could be a little bit of a shootout.
Yeah,
I hope it is.
I think it comes down to kind of who wants to impose their will more. I feel like, Camden probably going to try to run the ball a good bit, just kind of take advantage up front. That's what you saw Oceanside kind of got to lean on a little bit. Oceanside had a big push up front. Von Blue, big game there for them against Gray. And I think, obviously, Gray's going to try to air it out with Staten. Hartsville didn't throw it a ton last week. I think they only completed one pass, honestly, John. That's just not their game. They're going to run it with 2 running backs a lot. Just be a weird matchup to see kind of what style kind of prevails as far as they're going to run the ball or throw the ball, which side. I think I like Camden here in a close one. But if Gray can get that passing offense going, it might be a shootout. They may win 42-35. I don't really know. But
yeah, and what's going to be interesting is turnovers.
Yeah.
If you turn the ball over and you forfeit possession, give the other side a bonus possession, if you will, that could be the difference too.
Mm-hmm.
If these teams are both scoring at will. I don't know that either one's going to score at will.
Right.
But it could be a game that's in the a 31-24 kind of range.
Yeah, and you think with the big Camden D line, it might come down to a bunch of almost tackling for Camden. You think the Grays probably do a bunch of quick screens, quick passes, and if you can tackle these guys in the open field, all right, you're gonna shut them down. But if you let Alford or Lockett break a tackle, take it 60 yards down the sideline, totally different ball game all of a sudden right there. So.
Yeah, you don't want Satan getting in if you're Camden, you don't want Satan getting into a big rhythm too. Yeah. Because he can certainly stand back there and let it rip.
Yeah, should be a fun ball game for sure there. And now, John, our SCSA game of the week from Colna. That's First Baptist at Pinewood Prep. A big-time 3A SCSA matchup. First Baptist lost to James Island last week, a high school league team there, 53-6. Pinewood, a tough loss to Ben Lippen, 30-27. Who do you like here between the Hurricanes and Panthers? I believe what they are. I'm lost for anyway, Pinewood Prep, First Baptist. Who do you like, John?
I don't know. I like Pinewood.
Okay.
I like Pinewood in this game. I know they've lost some close ones.
Yep, they have.
But it's been against some pretty good teams.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Lippen and then Lawrence Manning. We saw Lawrence Manning give Lake City.
All they wanted.
All they won in week 0 of that game. I think what comes into their favor this week, they get the win over First Baptist.
I like that. First Baptist led by quarterback Cooper Glazer, running back Eli Denson. Lots of athletes on the field there for them. Jaden Morrison and Russell Lee on defense, pretty good players there. Pinewood, similar to kind of Baptist Hill, they throw it around a ton. They throw 30, 40 passes a game there. Quarterback Asa Wyndham, running back Ethan Thomas, and wide receiver Shane DeRay caught 13 for 137 last week there, John. Big game for him. Tyler and Watson on that defense kind of lead it. But I think First Baptist has a little more athletic ability kind of on their side, I think they win a close one here, even though it's on the road at Pinewood.
Okay. And those are the Hurricanes.
First Baptist Hurricanes. That's right. So I like First Baptist there. And that's our 5th and final Colna game of the week. So we had Dillon Hartsville, Whale Branch Baptist Hill, Oceanside Collegiate Marlboro County, Gray Collegiate Camden, and then First Baptist Pinewood. We got a comment here from Cam, says Jay Lockett straight out of Ridge Spring. Big time player there, Cam. Yeah, he's a lot of fun to watch out there for Gray out wide, John. And as you start to pull up our statewide scoreboard, which one do you want to go through first? And I'll kind of give a shout out to some of our friends right quick.
Let's do 5A first.
Perfect. So quick shout out here to our Security Advantage Federal Credit Union preview show here. They have a clear purpose to improve the financial lives of their members, offer much lower loan rates, and don't charge the fees other banks do. SecurityAdvantageFCU.com. That's SecurityAdvantageFCU.com. Win a banking thrive life member NCUA. Our friends at the Georgia Agency, serving insurance needs of South Carolina over 35 years. Full line insurance agency contracting employee benefits and health insurance and office in Mullins and Merle's Inlet. Help you all across the state. Bradley Wayne Richard and the crew at GeorgiaAgency.net there for those guys. Our game of the week sponsor, Colna. They offer a synergistic approach for the spine, skeletal system, and nervous system. 3 convenient locations in Spartanburg, Duncan, and Greenville. Colna.care. That's Colna.care. And then our stock up, stock down sponsor, Founders Federal Credit Union. Get your head in the game with Founders Federal Credit Union. See how Founders Membership can elevate your financial game. RelaxJointFounders.com. That's RelaxJointFounders.com, John. Let's look at the 5A lineup here for this week and give some thoughts on those games as we kind of go through it here.
We've got Goose Creek at Buford.
That's a big game. What are our pick'ems there? A 5A, 3A matchup. Goose Creek, a team that we thought was going to be good, have not impressed yet. They've got a chance this week to kind of show us something here against Buford.
And Buford looks pretty good on their side.
They do.
Again, if you forget, keep in mind, they're 3A. They were 4A last year.
Just dropped down this year.
They were the lower state 4A champs last year. So Buford definitely capable of winning this game. They get this game at home behind the movie theater. Well, I love that little drive on that stadium. That's pretty cool. It's very low country-esque.
Yep.
I like it. We'll have Hillcrest at Boiling Springs.
Hillcrest, John, we said it last week, and I think I mentioned it. We keep up the offense with Judy and McFadden and Neal and Colton, those guys. That defense is really good.
They're scoring.
I think they won, was it 19-14 or something like that last week. Had a big stop late in the game. I think Clover scored, got the onside kick. Hillcrest had a 4th down stop there to win the game. The defense has been what's been really good, and if they keep playing at that level, it's going to be tough to beat. We mentioned the offense with those guys, defense scoring, especially in scoring. B.J. Jones had a pick 6, also had a kickoff return a couple weeks ago. Last week, Avery McFadden a kickoff return for a touchdown. A lot of firepower. Hillcrest is really good. I should have a comment here from Donald Wilson about that. So offense wasn't great last week. Defense is good, and Avery McFadden taking kickoff return touchdown. Yeah,
I think Hillcrest. That's his second in the season?
Maybe. I know Jones had one, and McFadden's got one. He may have 2. I don't know. But big one for Hillcrest. That's a 5-18 that we keep talking about, and we need to be talking about.
Absolutely. They are, right now, they might be the team to beat in the upper state.
They're up there. They're up there.
It's what I want to see them play somebody pretty good.
Yep.
That's the only not so far. And that's not even a knock on it. It's just let's see them play somebody really good.
Yeah.
But granted, Clover, maybe they're better than we think.
Good defense, especially, it seems like.
And they gave was it
Northwestern a good battle there 2 weeks ago. Yep.
Yeah. So Clover's not bad program.
No.
They might be pretty good.
Yeah.
We'll see how Clover unfolds too. We'll have Greer at Burns.
Rebels about to go 4-0. A team that we weren't high on going into the year. It's been very impressive so far. Very explosive. Colby Shaw 400+ last week. Kai Cook 2 long touchdown plays there. That Burns team might be for real, John. They have not played a 5A team yet, but they played pretty good 3A teams like Brooklyn Casey and then 4A in Greenville. That team is I think they're legit. And that region looks almost wide open right now with how Gaffney has not been what we thought they were going to be.
That is very, very true. This should be another game for Burns to get in sync, and they certainly have been, though, so far this season. A little bit of a rivalry game. Unfortunately for the Greer side, this one's going to be a bit lopsided, I think. Burns has got a lot of talent. They fling it.
They do.
So they're definitely going to be able to score, and at Nixon Field, I think they're going to have another exciting offensive night for the Rebels. We've got Newberry. They will be going to Chapin. Ashley Ridge will be at Colleton County. North Myrtle Beach will go to Conway. Sumter will be at Crestwood. That'll be a fun game.
It is, yeah. Sumter's been impressive. Even without Raines, the defense still looks really good. Offense still worries me a little bit. I know Gamble is kind of their lead guy, their big playmaker there. They need somebody to step up to kind of help him out. Crestwood, though, a nice win last week over Andrew Jackson. I think it might have been overtime, maybe double overtime possibly.
I think it was overtime, yeah.
Big win there. Obviously, we know they beat Gray 2 weeks ago. They're a fun team, and they've got a big-time player. Is it Brandon Cease or Nigel Johnson? One of the guys.
Nigel Johnson.
Big-time player there at Crestwood. So they're fun to watch for sure. Comment here from Jay Law says, "Hola." What's going on, Jay? Good to hear from you, buddy. Yeah, that'll be a fun matchup there at Crestwood and Sumter, kind of a 3A, 5A tilt.
Yeah, I think Crestwood's going to be an issue in 3A. I think they're going to be around when playoffs come. I think people are going to want to avoid those guys.
Yeah.
We'll have JL Man at Easley. Fort Dorchester, now they will be playing not on Friday. They'll be playing on Saturday. They're hosting Clearwater High School out of Florida. It's a big deal for those guys.
Yeah, they played a lot of tough games. They played Grayson last Saturday in the Camden Classic, lost 20-0 in Atlanta. No shame in that. Obviously, Grayson's always a powerhouse. So, big game there. They couldn't get much going on offense. They ran the ball fairly well early. I felt like couldn't get the passing game going. But yeah, that should be a good matchup for Fort D. And hats off to them. We always talk about there's not any really strong 4A, 5A schools in lower state besides Fort D usually.
Yeah.
They're finding people to play to make them better, which I commend them on that 100%.
And hey, hats off for them getting these guys to come up from Florida.
That's true as well.
You can't be traveling like that every week.
That's true as well.
Sure too. So good for them to be able to
Jay Law said he should be that Sumter game. Yeah, man, that's a good one. Also, keep us updated. That'll be a fun one. Seth Pierce says hello. What's going on, Seth? Good to see you, buddy. Let's get back into 5A here, John.
We'll have Gaffney hosting Mallard Creek.
This is a team that needs a big win in the worst kind of way. They beat Hammond last week. I think a minute scored with a minute like a 40 left to win 14-7 over Hammond. Very surprising, a little bit worrisome. Like, maybe we oversold Gaffney going into the year. I don't know. Hats off to Hammond, though, for that performance, too. Big game for those guys. But Mallard Creek gave South Point all they wanted last week. Gaffney at home is always tough. I think Gaffney wins this one, and I think they need a win here, or those fans are going to be very upset with Coach Jones and crew there.
I think this is definitely a big swing game for the Indians because Mallard Creek's no joke. They're always good.
Yep.
They're maybe not quite as talented as they typically are, but this is certainly if they win, it's a big win.
Yeah.
Big win because they're a very good team, and they proved they are a tough team. It'd be a good win for Gaffney to get that. But if they lose, it's not necessarily like, oh gosh, they lost to Mallard Creek, but it's Gaffney,
just
the level,
culmination of the whole season. Yeah.
The bar is here for Gaffney, as it should be. You're the defending state champs. And if you lose this game, it's just kind of, the win last week was great to get a win, but you're just, I think Gaffney just kind of on edge.
Yeah,
right now.
for sure.
If you lose this game, it's like, but we're not going to be able to compete for the title this year, maybe. If you win this game, it's
right back in it. Back in it. Yep.
All right, all is well. So that's a big game for Gaffney. I think that's going to be a really tight game too. Spartanburg, as we talked about Grayson. Spartan will be going over to Georgia to play Grayson. Don't expect the Vikes to win this game.
No, it'll be a tough one.
Again, hats off to these teams playing competition that is better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going a long way to get your guys better. Mark Hodge over there still shaping that program in the way that he wants to do it. And playing good teams makes you better.
Yep.
And that's not just in football. That's everything.
Mm-hmm.
Play people that are better than you. It'll help you get better. Fort Mill will be at Indian Land. St. James will be at Lake City. Blythewood going to Lexington. Greenville will be at Malden. Northwestern will go to Nation Ford. Lower Richland going to Rock Hill. Socastee hosting Myrtle Beach. South Aiken hosting River Bluff. Carolina Forest will go to South Florence. Spring Valley hosting Ridgeview. Nice Blythewood kind of rivalry there between Spring Valley and Ridgeview.
Yeah, a couple good games there. We'll mention Carolina Forest, South Aiken, or South Florence. Carolina Forest, I was not high on after getting smoked by Somerville 2 weeks ago. We played very good against Oceanside last week, so we'll see. I still think South Florence beats them, but I want you to see how good Carolina Forest is maybe. And then also back up to South Aiken, River Bluff. Cooper Johns might run for 300-plus yards this week. South Aiken can't stop anybody. Cooper Johns has been, I think he had 8 carries for 100-something yards, 3 touchdowns last week. River Bluff may score 50 if they want to. South Aiken's got that defense figured out, man. They can score, they just cannot stop anybody.
Yeah. Gotta get that word out before you get ready to play.
Yep.
We'll have North Charleston going to RV Stall. Stratford will be hosting Dutch Fork. Wano will be at Somerville. West Ashley hosting Berkeley. White Knoll at Westwood. Woodmont hosting Travelers Rest. Hanna will be at Wren. And York hosting Clover to round out 5A.
Nice. A pretty good Clover defense there against a York team that scored 70 last week. So that'll be fun to watch, see how that game goes there in a 4A, 5A match.
Yeah, York definitely showed some muscle on Friday.
Yes, they did.
Well, you ready to hop down to 4A?
Let's do it.
Got some good ones here. We got Clinton at Aiken. The Clinton team, the Red Devils, red hot. Look to see them.
Yeah, they should win this game too. Aiken is not very much this year, I don't feel like. So I think they win this game fairly easily.
Lugoff Elgin will be at Airport. Berea will be hosting Wade Hampton. Blue Ridge at home against Eastside. This is an interesting matchup here. AC Flora going to Brooklyn Casey, playing at Cage. West Cabarrus will be at Catawba Ridge. That's a West Cabarrus team out of the state of North Carolina. South Point going to Chester.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the lights are working. Ashley Ridge at Colleton County. West Florence will go to Dreer. Midland Valley will be playing Harlem out of the state of Georgia.
Last time we said this 2-game winning streak for Midland Valley too.
Great stuff for the Mustangs.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know anything about Harlem, Georgia.
No.
But
they knew there was a Harlem, Georgia.
I didn't either, but now we know. Pulling for the Mustangs. Hopefully they can get 3 in a row here. We got Bishop England at James Island. Fairfield Central. Griffin's playing really good football this year. They will go to Lancaster.
That's a sneaky good game there, I feel like. The Bruins have been pretty good this year. They beat Rock Hill. They beat Chester already. Fairfield Central lost to Chester last week in a close one late. But that offense is really good for those guys. That'll be a fun matchup there between the Griffins and the Bruins.
Yeah, I think so. That's going to be a fun one. Fairfield Central probably a little bit overmatched, being a 2A, 4A game, but hey, they're good.
Yeah,
They're
they
good.
are.
They're good enough to play. Chapman will be at Lawrence. Lucy Beckham hosting Hanahan. Nation Ford will be hosting Northwestern. North Augusta at home against Greenwood. May River at Ridgeland Hardyville. Christchurch going to Riverside. River Bluff going to South Aiken. We talked about that. Could be some points scored in that game. This is an interesting game. Abbeville going to Westside.
Yeah.
Westside with a huge win Friday. In Abbeville, we saw them in person.
Yeah.
We know how good they are. I think you got to put any game Abbeville steps on the field, you got to give them a serious consideration.
Yeah, Abbeville won 28-14 last week over Southside Christian. A game that was maybe closer than that. It was 21-14 or 21, I think, to 7 or 21-0 maybe. Southside Christian got up to 7, got the ball back, threw a pick 6 late there. Zay Rayford did not play last week. I'm not sure his status for this week yet. Antonio Harris is still out for those guys, but Jay Hill has played very well, along with Jamal Marshall, DeVario Tench, and Patterson, those guys there. Abbeville's impressive, kind of running that A-ball offense there. Westside, they're still kind of an enigma to me. 2 weeks ago, got beat pretty badly by BHP, surprisingly there. And they come back, blow out of TL Hamilton. We thought Mo was good.
Yeah.
So they got the offense rolling with Cutter Woods finally. I think it's a lot of points in this game, too. I think Westside at home, maybe in a close one I'm leaning towards. But I think it might be a 40-plus, 30-plus point game for both squads this week.
I'm thinking wisely that it's probably Westside, but I'll just say it. I kind of want Abbeville to win. I just, they gotten some bad luck.
Yeah.
Beginning of the season with injuries, and they had these guys, second-string guys, who come off the bench and play
very well.
Extremely good football. Love to see them do well. But hey, I'm not pulling against Westside.
Yeah.
That'd be a great story for Westside to have a good season this year. They're always right there.
Yeah,
right
they're in the playoffs.
Pretty good. But gosh, what they did at Dillon last Friday.
That was very impressive.
That was incredible.
Very impressive.
We'll have White Knoll at Westwood. Hilton Head will go to Wilson. Wilson, that tough, going off that tough loss Friday against Dillon. I like Wilson on that one. I think they bounce back. And then this will be an interesting game. Clover at York as well. That's gonna be a fun one up there in York County.
Yeah, a couple comments here on 4A from Jay Law says, waiting to see South Point. That'll be a barn burner for sure. South Point's passing game is crazy. Yes, they are. Sellers is awesome, man. That Bruins team is a really, really good ball club this year.
That's gonna be a lot of talent on that football field for that game.
Yeah,
that's gonna be really fun.
Let's look. We'll get to 3A now, John.
Yes, 3A.
Let's do it.
So we'll have Lakewood going to Aner. Battery Creek will be hosting Savannah Christian. Eastside will be at Blue Ridge. Union will go to Broome. As we talked about one of the games of the week, Gray going to Camden. Fountain Inn will be at Carolina.
Fury, chance for their first ever win this week. We'll see.
They're going to get one.
They're
going to get one. Carvers Bay will be at Georgetown. Sherrall will be hosting Darlington. Daniel will be hosting Hart County out of Georgia, right across the line there. Dreer will be hosting West Florence. Saluda will be at Emerald. Pelion at Gilbert. Another game of the week, Dillon going to Hartsville.
Yep.
We've got Lake Marion going to Manning.
Manning's been impressive with the Rangers. I think they've got 2 or 3 wins, or I think they played last week. I think they're at least 2-0, if not 3-0. They've been very good. A team that I did not see being well this year, but they've been pretty good so far.
You add somebody like Rames onto your roster, it's going to be a big thing.
Yep.
But hey, it's a team game, the ultimate team game. It's not just one person.
Very true.
Hats off to the Monarchs for starting strong. We'll have another game of the week, Oceanside at Marlboro County. Barn will be at Orangeburg Wilkinson.
War Horses, big win last week over Bamberg, 35-7. That's be a late touchdown too for Bamberg. Smith, I think, had 200+. Pender had a big game. Cam Austin had a nice game at quarterback there for those guys. Maurice Odom on defense. Barnwell's the real deal, man. I know we keep talking about it. That team is going to be a big-time factor in 2A in the lower state.
Big time. We thought they would win that game.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were going to win like that.
Man,
I thought it was going to be a bit closer.
Blew them out.
Very impressive win. We've got Timberland will be at Philip Simmons. Pendleton at Powdersville. Seneca will host St. Joseph's.
Seneca, another nice win last week over Wren, a team that we were like, that's a pretty good barometer for Seneca here. They're 3-0 now, John.
They are.
You know, in a region with that Daniel squad that, you know, blows everybody out, of course. Seneca has a really good shot to get probably the 2 seed there. And, you know, maybe they sneak up and, you know, bite Daniel. We'll see. But I think Daniel's clearly the favorite still in that region. Seneca, though, has a good chance, I think, to get a 2nd seed in the playoffs, get a home game.
Absolutely. You know, you keep playing well. They will get Daniel at home this season. So that helps.
Yep.
That helps.
I don't know if it's enough, but
I don't know if it's enough. But, yeah, you know, if they keep building that confidence, get juiced up for that game. But, yeah, it seems to be Seneca's got a club.
Mm-hmm.
And they were pretty good last year.
They were.
They were.
They were.
You know, fringe top 10 team for most of the season. They look pretty good this year. We'll have Wagner Sally going to Swansea. Johnsonville will go to Waccamaw. Southside will be at Walhalla. Ware Shoals will be at West Oak.
That's on Thursday now due to rain. That is one thing I'm interested to see if any other schools move up games. There's a big chance of rain, I think, Friday and Saturday this week, and especially the upstate up here. Interesting to see if any other teams go ahead and pull the plug and move a game up to a Thursday night to kind of avoid that and see what happens. But I know that one for a fact has already moved up to Thursday.
For a weather report, before I came here, I saw the weather, and they showed the radar for Friday night around 8 o'clock, and it looks like basically from, I would say, Lancaster County, that far north, from there west, is going to be pretty clear for the evening.
Good.
The rest of the state, definitely going to be dealing with some rain. So, and granted, that's a couple days away. Who knows? A lot can change. But it looks like the upstate right now in the best position to get some games underway. But great point. Maybe we get some games split up for Thursday. And I tell you what, I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah.
Go to a game Thursday, go to another game Friday.
That's right.
So off the weather report here, we've got Travelers Rush to go to Woodmont.
Woodmont running back AJ Hackett is running I think he's leading the upstate in rushing right now. Big time season for that guy. He's really got it going. But TR's gonna have their hands full with those guys.
Yeah, I think Woodmont's definitely they should win that one. We have Belton Honeypath at Woodruff.
Sneaky good game there.
Interesting game here.
Belton Honeypath, I think they won their coach's 100th game last week. I think we had our buddy there at BHP Bear Stats hopped in our spaces on Friday night and told us about it. Looked very good. You know, they beat TL Hanna. They won their game last week over Lawrence pretty handily there. Woodruff, a tough loss last week. Who did they lose to? Maybe Chapman? They beat Chapman.
They beat Chapman in week 2.
I remember they played last week. Either way, should be a fun matchup up there at Woodruff.
And we'll have TL Hanna going to Wren. Yellow Jackets trying to avenge that tough loss to West Side last week.
Let's see. A couple comments here. Jarrell says, you can't walk it back now. John, thanks about your Abbeville West Side comments there. See how that goes through the folks.
You can't talk trash for the game.
With the folks. And Jay says, wanted to see that Dillon game last week. Didn't feel like driving. Glad to see how Wilson's gotten better this year. Yeah, Wilson was a team, you know, Jarrell and I mentioned on the recap show, we saw them in a 7-on-7 this summer, and they did not look good. We were like, this team is going to have a lot of problems. But Coach Mooney's gotten them figured out. You know, they got the Eccles kid coming over from Timminsville playing the quarterback position there. They got Zande Butler out wide. A lot of good athletes there. I'll tell you what, I don't know if you saw it, John, or, you know, Jay, you probably saw it. The pictures from the game against Dillon, packed house there, man. The Wilson fans are kind of getting behind that program. Great to see them being good again there in Florence.
It is. And that town or that area, they deserve it. They're typically pretty good. They got a nice new field. I like to see it. I like to see Wilson being good. It's good for the PD. It's good for South Carolina football.
For sure.
Going into 2-8. Actually, remember how funny you looked at me last week when I was like, I picked Wilson this game.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You were there. You were on it. You were on it.
Still a loss in the books for me. Going to 2A now. We got Bethune-Bowman at Academic Magnet. Blacksburg will host Louisville.
Continue to win. The Lions, man, 3-0. Another nice win last week over Chesterfield. Coach Bulwer got that team going in the right direction with Ian Grissom, their quarterback.
And I thought that was a Chesterfield game they would have some trouble with.
Yeah.
So that to me, that's a really good win for them. Buford will host Carolina. That's Carolina High School out of North Carolina. C.A. Johnson will host Wade Hampton from the Low Country. Central will be hosting Piedmont. also another team from North Carolina. Chesterfield will be hosting Lakeview. That could be a pretty good game. I like Lakeview.
Could be a lot of points in that one.
It certainly should be. Eau Claire will be hosting Whitmire. Emerald will be hosting Saluda. Edisto going to Estill. Gilbert hosting Pelion.
Gilbert, big winners last week over South Aiken. Elias Woodbury ran for like 257. They had another guy run for 100 plus. That offense there at Gilbert's fun to watch. And like we talked about last week, always tough to play at Gilbert too. Even though Pelion off to a good start, Gilbert with too much firepower this week.
Yeah, I like Gilbert. They're really good. They are really good. Great Falls will host Columbia. Kingstree will go to Green Sea Floyd's.
A team that needs to win in the worst way. My Blazers, they lose week 1 or week 0 to Manning. They have to forfeit against Ainer week 1. They lose last week. They're 0-3 technically. A team that I was high on. They got to get it figured out. They got a couple weeks for region play still, but love to see them get a win here over a Green Sea Floyd's team that is not what they were a few years ago when they were winning state championships.
So they got a great chance. They got a great chance. Keep your heads on straight.
Yep.
And settle down a little bit, and I think we'll be okay. Andrews will be at Hanna Pamplico. Hemingway will be hosting Marion. Bishop England will be at James Island. Lamar hosting Andrew Jackson. It's going to be a good game.
Fun game there. Lamar, a nice win over Legion Collegiate last week. So it'll be a fun one.
Yeah. And AJ had that
tough loss to Crestwood, right? Yep.
Fairfield Central will be at Lancaster. Latta will be hosting Lee Central. Dixie will be at Liberty. Lake Marion going to Manning. 96 will be at Mid Carolina. Mullins hosting Trinity Collegiate.
Little SCSA high school league matchup there. I think Trinity wins that game. Mullins' defense, Mullins' whole team is not very good.
Struggling.
I think Trinity, coming off a loss last week to Cardinal Newman, is still too much power. I think they beat Mullins down there at Mullins.
On the road.
Friday night.
North Central will be hosting Keenan. That's an interesting matchup. You got
Keenan had a big win last week over Richmond Northeast. A game that you don't see a lower class going up there and beating those guys. But Keenan has looked very good so far. I like what they're doing there. I like what the Raiders are doing.
Yeah, they're carrying the momentum they had from last season. They had a really good season last season, carrying that momentum into this year as well. This will be an interesting game for both of these schools. Well, I guess more so for Keenan. That high school, Metro, right down there in the middle of Columbia. North Central, way out in the sticks.
Not Metro. Exact opposite.
You're going to see, last time you see lights, it's going to be about 45 minutes before you get to the stadium. So that'll be a fun trip for the boys from Keenan. Barnwell will be at Orangeburg Wilkinson. Philip Simmons hosting Timberland. Landrum will go across the state line and play Polk County. Chesney will be at RS Central. That also a team in North Carolina. Woodland will go to St. John's, and that rounds out the 2A slate.
Perfect. Let's roll through 1A here, then we'll move on to some other stuff.
For 1A, game of the week, probably game of the week of the state. Whale Branch at Baptist Hill.
Very big one.
Bamberg Earhart will be at Blackville Hilda. Williston Elko at Branchville. Calhoun County going to Burke. Georgetown will be at Carver's Bay. Scotts Branch, they are going to Cross. Ellendale Fairfax at Denmark Olar. Let's see, got a couple 2A repeaters here. Hunter Kenner Tyler will be hosting Military Magnet. McBee will be hosting East Clarendon. Christchurch going to Riverside.
That's an interesting matchup there. Riverside, big win week 1 over TR. Came back, lost a tough one to JL Man there. I guess technically week 1, week 0 of the TR game. Lost a game last week to Woodmont. Did not think they were going to lose. Christchurch played well. I think they played an out-of-state school last week. Got beat pretty handily. Riverside should win this game, but Christchurch has got a chance. I think a real chance here. I think the Warriors and Rob Tanners need a big performance.
Yeah, I think this game will be closer than probably a lot of people expected. I think Christchurch.
If you look at 4A1, you're like, oh yeah, I think this should be a
I think Christchurch I think Riverside wins the game. They should. But I don't know that Riverside's quite as good as we thought they were. They won that TR game. The TR struggled.
Yeah,
TR's having a hard time this year. But yeah, Riverside should win this game. But they got to earn it. They got to play. Woodland will be at St. John's, and Ware Shoals will be going to West Oak to round out 1A.
Awesome, John. Well, that wraps up our 1A through 5A school. I'll get a couple SCSA games here, and then we'll kind of move through polls if you want to do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Awesome. So big games here in SCSA. We got Ben Lippen traveling to Hilton Head Christian. Ben Lippen still undefeated there, playing good ball now. Heathwood home against Porter Gal. A fun one here, John. Almost our skis game of the week. Lawrence Manning versus Hammond. A Hammond team took Gaffney to the wire last week. You got interested to see, maybe if Hammond, if they got kind of physically beat up a little bit, you have to see how how much that matchup goes there. But the Swamp Cats gave Lake City a good challenge earlier in the year here. We got Thomas Sumter at Wilson Hall, St. John's at Thomas Hayward, Dorchester Andrew Jackson, and Conway Christian at PD Academy. Some good skis ball games there as well this week, John. So looking at the poll now, like we keep telling you guys, our poll's coming soon. I promise it is. I've not seen this poll, so I'll do another live reaction if you want to do it that way, same as last week, whatever you want to do.
So yeah, and I've glanced at it.
Okay, so
I haven't really taken
both
a
of us.
look
Here we
either.
go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I was able to pull it up just before we went live here. So
Perfect.
right off the bat, we got some fireworks.
Oh God.
And we'll go 1A. So 1A, 10th is Lakeview.
Okay.
I'm good with that. I think they're probably better than 10.
Yeah.
They do have a first place vote.
Something's going on here. This team wasn't even in the poll last week, right? Or they were right at saying also they got a first place. Who is the rogue 1A voter? Last week we had Louisville with a solo first place vote there in 9th. What's going on in the 1A poll?
We have 7 different schools getting a vote for number 1.
This 1A poll is a mess.
A lot of parity going on here. So at 9, this is incredible. At 9, Southside Christian. They have been.
Did they get a first place vote?
They did not get a first place vote.
That's probably the best team in 1A, and you got them at 9 with no first place votes because they lost to 2 big out-of-state schools in 2A Lamar or 2A Abbeville. Excuse me. Joke. Joke, John.
That is
Joke.
incredible. Baptist Hill is at 8. Lamar at 7. Christ Church at 6. They get 2 first place votes. Number 5, it's Louisville.
Good. They went 9 to 5. I love it.
Johnsonville 4th. They've got 2 votes.
Okay.
3rd is Bamberg Earhart with 1 vote. 2nd, Whale Branch with 3. And 1st is St. Joseph's with 7 first place votes.
This poll is a mess, John.
That's your 1A poll?
Yeah.
That is.
Continue. I don't even know what to say about that.
It's almost like the Wheel of Destiny you spin for the ACC Coastal.
That's a mess.
We've only got 4 teams in 2A with first place votes, so we're starting to cinch it up a little bit. Number 10, this is a newcomer. Number 10 is Peelian.
Okay.
Number 9, Marion. 8, Woodland. 7 is Buford. 6, Wade Hampton. 5, Fairfield Central. Here's where we might be getting a little sideways. 4 is Oceanside. They have 1 vote. 3 is Barnwell. They've got 3 votes. 2 is Abbeville. They got 2. And 1st is Saluda with 11.
I don't understand the reasoning here. Okay, so
I don't know.
Saluda won. That's fine. They've won all their games. They don't even played anybody. Abbeville at second. They've got a loss. Lost to Pattersville. Who have they beaten? They beat McCormick.
Southside Christian.
Beat McCormick Southside Christian. Okay. Barnwell, undefeated. They beat Bamberg and whatever. Oceanside has beat Gray and Carolina Forest and lost to South Florence. And they're 4.
By 1 point.
I don't know about this, John.
I don't think there's a team in 2A that could beat Oceanside.
Well, the thing, if you're going off of undefeated only, okay, Saluda should be 1, DeMar should be 2. But if you're going to go, if you don't really care about the undefeated or not, then there's no way that how Abbeville had Oceanside Collegiate.
Well, some of these teams only play 2 games.
That's
3 at best. I don't like and I don't think that's the logic. Well, I don't know what the logic is. But I'm not going to reward a team. Oh, they're 2-0. This team, well, they're 2-1. It's not apples to apples.
Yeah.
You gotta put a little bit more into how you
how you figure it out.
evaluate some of these teams.
For sure. For sure.
Are the top 5 teams in 2A? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But I think it's, for me, I don't know, should we talk about it or should we just put out a poll on a couple of days?
We should put out
a poll.
Comment from Tom said he had the same reaction. Oceanside belongs in 1. I think so too. I just don't get the different, I don't know what they're basing this off of. I don't know. But we never know with these polls, Thomas.
Well, you know what? We don't have the BCS. We don't have the playoff committee. We'll figure it out on the field. So we really don't have to worry about it. It's just fun to talk about, right?
We got a comment here from John who says, "Go Dorman." We'll get to that. We'll get to that poll here in a second.
Dorman off this week, I believe.
I think they are. I think they are. Yeah, a bye week this week. You're right.
So we go into 3A at number 10. You got Belton Honeythat getting some respect this week. I think that's
good
probably
season
deserved.
so far.
Number 9 is Hanna. 8 is Buford. 7 is Seneca. 6 is Gilbert. 5 Clinton. 4 Camden. 1 first place vote. 3 is Powdersville. 2 Dillon. And 1 Daniel, getting the other 16 first place votes.
3A is really tough. I feel like everybody from like 2 to like 8 or 9 is all very good. You can just kind of just mix and match in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Beaufort probably a little bit low at 8. But then who do you put them in front of? I don't know. I mean, you can put them up past Seneca, I guess. But Gilbert looks great. Clinton looks great. Camden's always great, of course. 3A is a very tough one to rank. I mean, I think you've got to keep being number 1 until you see something different for sure. But after that, it's a little bit of a crapshoot.
Based on what I would see, I would shuffle that top 5, top 6 a little bit. And I think it's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. I think there's a big jump between those two. But yeah, the 3A stuff. I'm not going to give a whole lot of criticism on that. That 3A stuff, in a great way.
Yeah,
great way. Playoffs are going to be a ton of fun with 3A. Going into 4A, number 10 is Ridgeview. 9 Indianland. 8 James Island. 7 Catawba Ridge. 6 is Hartsville. A tie for 4th is West Florence, South Florence.
How about that?
3 AC Flora. 2 Northwestern, and number 1 South Point. Northwestern getting 1 vote. South Point getting the rest. So here, my main issue I have with 4A ball. Almost every week, West Florence and South Florence are top. And I think West Florence is good. I think South Florence is very,
I think both of them are super solid. We talk about it, that region would be so fun. I mean, you got the tie for 4th there, and the 6th place teams all in the same region. And obviously you got Myrtle Beach, who you think was probably going to figure out at some point. Interesting to see what happens there in that region. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised, obviously, that both of them are behind Florida, too. I thought they might be actually 3-4, Florida at 5.
I agree with that. And this is just to get your blood boiling a little bit. Myrtle Beach is receiving votes.
Okay, good. They got a win now. Quarterback's back. I do want a quick shout out to Catawba Ridge. I feel like I we hadn't talked much about this year. They lost the quarterback, transferred to North Carolina School there, the big prospect, Jaden Bradford, I think his name is. They've had some nice wins this year. They beat a big team from North Carolina. A couple other nice wins so far. Catawba Ridge is a team that might be sneaky good in 4A that we kind of forgot about there in that tough region with Northwestern, South Point, Lancaster, etc.
Yeah, they're going to be in the mix. They're we made such a big deal about them in year 1 of the program because they were doing so well, and now
just Jaden Davis.
Davis.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of expect them to be there.
Yeah.
So we get them lost a little bit in there, but again, I think with 4A too, though, I think it's 4 or 5 teams.
Yeah, at least.
But out of those 4 and 5, I don't know who's 1 and who's 5. They are really, really good, and I don't think the gap in 4A is as big as the gap in 4A.
I agree.
That's my opinion.
There's a team. I mean, you talk about Myrtle Beach getting votes. I see Greenville's getting votes too. They may have as much talent as anybody if they can kind of get it figured out. They could certainly make a deep run. Just they've played some tough competition so far, of course.
Exactly, and I don't think you necessarily punch them for that. I don't know if there's 10 teams in 4A that are better than Greenville.
Yeah.
In my opinion, they're probably good. In 5A, number 10, River Bluff. 9 is Spartanburg. 8 is Somerville. 7 Gaffney. 6 Sumter. 5 Fort Dorchester. You got Dorman at 4. Hillcrest at 3. Burns is 2.
Okay.
Dutch Fork getting all the first place votes at 1. That
interesting there. I feel like Fort Dorchester had a big drop there from losing to a pretty good team. Burns had a big jump there from beating Greenville. Big jump. I mean, they're good. I don't know if they're number 2 in the state good, John. We'll see about that as we kind of get more down the road here. That we're both high on Hillcrest. Everybody knows that, of course. Both high on Fort Dorchester as well. Interesting to see what happens. Obviously, these polls so early, it's going to all play itself out mostly. But surprise there. Dutch Fork, they were impressive without their quarterback. You had to keep running Jarvis Green, Landon Danley, kind of some Wildcat stuff last week. Big win over Creekside. Very impressive still. I think they're clear-cut number 1 right now, have to be. Behind that, I think it's a dogfight for that number 2 spot. I mean, you could honestly put Fort D, Dorman, Hillcrest, Burns, even Sumter there probably.
Yeah.
Not feel comfortable with any of those teams really behind them.
Yeah, and I think when you look at Gaffney, I know Gaffney is on edge a little bit, but they're still really, really good. And
They lost
really,
one
really
game.
talented.
They lost one game. They lost South Point. I mean,
Yeah. Somerville's getting their mojo back.
Yep.
I think Spartanburg they're probably better than they're getting
play
credit
tough
for.
teams too as well. Exactly. Yeah.
We'll find out more about River Bluff, but they're a good football team as well. There's a little bit there's more parity in 5A now
Yes.
than we thought there would be coming
Yes.
into the season. So I like the shuffling. I would have the top one a little bit different. I think you would too. But I like what we see there.
Yes.
And I think it's going to shift around a decent bit before we even get into region play, and then really move around once region play hits, and we see some of these teams playing one another.
I think so. So you guys stay tuned for our own poll coming out pretty soon here once I get around to it. But quick shout out to our friends here at the Security Advantage Federal Credit Union preview show, securityadvantagesu.com, Win at Banking Thrive at Life and NCUA. The George Agency, helping you with your employee benefits, health insurance, full line life insurance, whether you're an owner of a business or a seasonal worker. GeorgeAgency.net. Our friends at Kona, 3 convenient locations in Spartanburg, Duncan, and Greenville. Basically, physical therapy for your spine, skeletal system, nervous system, etc. Kona.care. That's Kona.care. And then Founders Federal Credit Union. Visit RelaxJoinFounders.com. Relax with Founders Federal Credit Union. See how their membership can elevate your financial game there. Lots of great friends of the program. I want to get into our pick 'em here before you. I got a couple comments here from John Predictions. Says Hillcrest not even in his top 7.
Wow.
Okay, maybe that should give you a vote, John. See how that goes. Appreciate you giving your thoughts there on that one. Cool. Pick'ems now, John. Our pick'em contest from Hanna Engineering. If you guys aren't in it, do it. It's on our Facebook page every week, our Twitter page, our website. Join in. And congrats to our week 2 winners, Chris B, Kane E, and Ryan R, all with 10. Got Corey, Dale, MB42, Ryan F, David S, Jimmy S, Corey W, Art B, and Dale S, all with 9. Jarrell had 9. John, you had 7. I had 8. I think it's going to take 10 to win one of these things one of these weeks, man. 10's a good number. That's what the winning prize has been the last couple of weeks for sure. A lot of 10s there for those guys. And our overall leader so far on the season, Dale B at 27,
Nice.
David C at 26, Ryan F 25, Jimmy and Corey also at 25, MB42 at 24, then Corey, Sherman, Lance, Art, and Nicholas all at 23, Jarrell at 26, I'm at 23, John, you're at 21. But don't forget, your lowest week has not been dropped yet, so that'll be definitely a thing to think about later on in the year, see how that comes out. But a lot of fun for the Hanna Engineering Pick'em contest. Get in that, folks, if you're not already. You definitely check that out. John, anything else you want to hit on here before we get out of here for the week?
I pick games a little bit better. I'm starting to slide a little bit.
It's early. It's
I
not region
getting
matchup.
worried.
It's tough to pick.
I'm getting worried. I gotta make up some ground here. But excited about this week.
Yep.
I know there's not as many marquee looking matchups as we've had the first 3 weeks of the season.
Yep.
But I think we're gonna have you and Jarrell are gonna have a lot to talk about. I think on the recap show after this Friday, there's gonna be a lot of boys.
Yes.
This week. I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, still give a quick shout out to our players of the week. Elias Woodbury from Gilbert, 20 carries for 257, 3 touchdowns and a win there. We had Bryce Payne from Walhalla, 14 for 21, 286, 3 TDs. Also 15 carries for 105 and 3 TDs. Then Santori Jones from Cross, 12 carries, a $103 and 2 touchdowns. Also 6 tackles, a pick, and 2 fumble recoveries. A big game for all 3 of those guys there. Send us your suggestions for nominees on Saturdays or Sundays, whenever you have them. Let us know. We'll definitely pick from those guys. We enjoyed doing the Players of the Week so far. Tune in Friday night or Friday Night Spaces on Twitter. It's been a lot of fun breaking down games. We had some good guests last week. Rob Brown hopped in, talked about the Burns game. We had BHP Bear Stats hop in, talk about some Belt and Pontiac Pass stuff. A lot of fun there on Twitter. Check out our website, Movin the Chains, for our message board. A lot of cool stuff, John. And like I said, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. As always, like, share, follow, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Movin Chains, YouTube as well, whatever that is. A lot of cool stuff for you guys to follow there. Drill says go ahead and lock in Cooper Jones for next week. Yeah, he's going against that South Aiken defense that has not stopped anybody. They've given up back-to-back Players of the Week for Jonah Norris and Elias Woodbury. See if Cooper Jones can make it 3 in a row. See how that goes. That'll be a lot of fun there to see. John's ranking right quick. He's got Dutch Fork 1, Burns 2, Dorman 3, Fort D 4, Sumter 5, Northwestern 6, Spartanburg 7, South Point 8, Hillcrest 9, Daniel 10, Gaffney 11. I guess this is a power ranking, John, predictions. These schools are not all in 5A, so that's cool. Appreciate you doing that, man. It's a lot of good stuff there.
I'm looking for Oceanside.
I didn't make it the power ranking, yeah. Didn't make it the power ranking. But anything else, John, I guess, before we say goodnight here?
No, I'm looking forward to it. Hope we have some good weather. And, hey, can we get half of the games on Thursday? Half the games on Friday?
We'll double up. We'll double up
Even
for sure. Well, for John Epps, I'm Kevin Thomas. This has been our Week 3 preview show here on Moving the Chains, and we'll catch you guys next week.